Alright, this is my Remothered Tormented Fathers review. Just finished the game, I think not even a week ago now. So this review will be for the PS4 version. I haven't played the PC version or any other version. I waited till it came on the PS4 because that's what I have, along with the Xbox One. But that's another story. The Xbox One doesn't have a lot of games. Anyways, so going into this game, I wasn't too sure because it's an indie game, which kind of like Agony. If you know what the game Agony is, it was a huge letdown. So I'm not too keen on indie survival horror type games now because after Agony, kind of left a bad taste in my mouth. So, but from looking at this game, watching the trailers, I knew it was going to be at least a decent game. I wasn't going to like rage out and be really pissed off that I bought it. Especially the price that it's at. It's $40 in Canada on the PlayStation Store. It's probably 30 or less on the store in the States or an Xbox Marketplace. Or on PC, it's probably like $20 or $15 or something, which is amazing price. I think $40 is a little steep, especially for the length of this game. I beat it like 5-6 hours. I usually don't feel like a game is really short because I take time to explore, but this game did feel pretty short. So if you're worried about that, it is pretty short. But the price that you're probably getting for it isn't that bad, unless you live in Canada. So, anyways, moving on to the game. Let's start with the story. The story is where this game kind of shines, I guess. Maybe not at first, but it's very intriguing, and you want to know more right away. It kind of leads you to this mass confusion part of the game where you don't know what's going on, but it all starts making sense the more you get into the game. At the end of it, you're kind of blown away. You're like, wow, okay. Not even during the end. It's like probably like a little bit earlier in the game. So as far as like a survival horror game that has a good story, this is a good game. It's better than the Outlast story. Outlast story is okay. It's better than most survival horror story type games, and I think the environment really added to that because this game is a mixture between I guess I want to say Outlast. If Outlast was in a third person type view, this is kind of would be what it is. And then it's mixed with Resident Evil, and you can say Resident Evil 7 which is first person, or you can say any other Resident Evil. As far as like the puzzles, you kind of have to figure out. They're not really puzzles, but there's certain direction you have to. Oh, you have to go upstairs. You have to go back downstairs. You have to use this piece to fix that, or you have to find things that make sense to put in place in order to progress in the game. Is basically what I'm saying. So kind of like Resident Evil. And then it takes aspects of Outlast where you can hide. There's hide under like beds and like sofas and like you can hide in closets. So it takes elements of Resident Evil and Outlast and puts it in this third person type game. Graphically, it's pretty solid. I think it's kind of like, in my opinion, it's a combination of graphics of Outlast 1 and Outlast 2. If you put it kind of in the middle, you're getting this game. I think it's also run by Unreal Engine 4, I'm pretty sure. So the graphics are solid, nothing amazing, nothing bad. It's just they're good, I guess. So graphics, they don't really interfere in the game and your overall experience of the game, which is good. So gameplay is, it's alright. Like I said, it takes elements of Outlast. You can't really, the only way you defend yourself is you can pick up knives, and once the character or the bad guy or the people that are trying to kill you in the game, I'm not gonna ruin it, or after, you can kind of defend yourself and like attack them for like a second, and hopefully they flee off. And then you can also throw stuff to distract people. So that's kind of what, you can't actually fight. The only time you actually get to fight in combat is when you're defending yourself. And it's like a quick button mash and boom. And then again, like I said, you can throw stuff. So it's kind of like Outlast with a little bit more leeway, I like to say. So that's kind of cool. What else? The atmosphere. Atmosphere is actually really good. It's funny because there's decent music in this game. Like Outlast, I think Outlast had really good music, and Outlast actually added to the atmosphere and the pure terror in the game. Made you more scared. This game kind of the same. It's kind of repetitive with the music. It's a lot of the same, also with repetitive dialogue. But it's an indie game. You can't really harp on repetitive dialogue and stuff. It's one of their first indie games, I think. Correct me if I'm wrong. Just like Outlast was when they first came out, and it had a lot of repetitive dialogue also. So there's that. But when there's no sound and you're just walking around in the house and you hear everything, you hear the guy talking, It's very creepy. I think when there's no music, this game actually succeeds a lot more when there is music. Because like I said, the music's more repetitive than anything else. But it's good. It's just I wish they used other music for different parts of the game, which they kind of do. But whenever you're getting chased, it's always the same music. And the enemies can never outrun you. You're always outrunning the enemies, so you kind of lose that scare factor after a while. But fortunately enough, the game is short, so you don't, completely get bored. If I feel like this game was an extra few hours, if they use that same tactic where the enemies never outrun you and you never run out of breath, it would kind of get old after a while. So hopefully in the second one or third one, they learn from that, because this game will be a series. And hopefully the next couple of games, the enemies can actually outrun you and eventually kill you if you don't hide, because that makes more sense. They're trying to say this is a realistic game, but yet you always outrun the enemies, and you're supposed to be a 35-year-old woman. So if they want to make it more realistic, and she smokes too, that's another thing that's funny, she smokes. And yet she can still outrun these enemies. So besides those, I guess, small gripes, would I recommend this game for the price point? And if you're looking for a good survival horror game, definitely would. I would probably give it somewhere between a 7 or a 7.5, probably 7.5 out of 10. It's a little bit below Outlast. I think Outlast, the first one I gave like an 8, and the second one I gave a 7.5. So this is kind of in the middle, but around 7.5. It's definitely worth checking out. And if you can get it for cheaper, then get it for cheaper if you have Steam or something. But if you're looking for a decent scare and good atmosphere and actually pretty good jump scares when you're not expecting them, I would get this game just for the story alone and that aspect alone. And the small little things here and there that, might piss you off about the game or kind of get tiresome doesn't like ruin the game completely, unlike other games like Agony. But let's not talk about Agony, because if you see my videos on that, you know what I'm talking about. So I would say get this game. I think that the next couple of Remothered games are going to be even better, and they'll learn from this one, which is a first good start in the series. Yeah, 7.5 out of 10. Check it out. Peace.